The Retail and Commercial Leases Act of 1995, the Act, affords extra protection to the tenant in a retail shop lease situation. We have summarised some of the landlord's rights and obligations here. To adequately protect your interests before leasing out the premises, here are things you should be particularly aware of. Lease term and option to renew. With limited exceptions, the Act states that retail shop leases must be for a minimum of 5 years, including any options to renew. Disclosure requirements. You must provide the tenant a draft lease and disclosure statement prior to signing the lease. If such disclosure is not made, the Magistrates' Court can make orders to void or vary the lease. The court can also order you to refund or pay compensation to the tenant. Failure to provide the draft lease can attract a penalty of $500. You need to make sure the tenant signs an acknowledgement of receipt of disclosure statement before the lease is signed. Pre-lease misrepresentations. Please be careful of any pre-lease representations you or your representatives may have made to the tenant, as the tenant can ask for compensation if those representations turn out to be false or misleading. Note that there is no requirement for the misrepresentation to be made with the knowledge that it was false at the time. Personal guarantees. In the case where the tenant is a company, you need to make sure that a personal guarantee is obtained. This is an important safety net for you should the tenant company cease to exist in the future. A personal guarantee will give you the ability to pursue an outstanding amount under the lease directly from the guarantor. Rent review. The lease must specify the timing and basis of rent reviews. The Act prohibits the base rent to be reviewed in the first 12 months after the lease is entered into. Additionally, the base rent cannot be changed more than once per year, except for a change by a specified amount or percentage. Any clauses that give you the discretion in deciding the method of calculating the base rent or whether to review the rent or not will be void. Estimate of outgoings. If you want the tenant to pay some of your outgoings, you must provide them with an estimate before the lease is signed or 1 month prior to each accounting period. Additionally, you must also prepare an audited annual statement 3 months after the end of each accounting period during the lease. The report does not have to be prepared by an auditor if you only charge local government rates, water and sewerage rates, and insurance. Key money. The Act prohibits you from asking the tenant to pay key money. There is a penalty of up to $10,000 for breaching the prohibition. Security bonds. You can only require 1 security bond for the lease, and the maximum amount you can ask for is the equivalent of 4 weeks' rent.